Hello and welcome to Cynical Optimists. I am haddowinc.
And I am NGM.
And joining us this week for our episode on 1985 is our good friend Patrick Sheekey.
Hi, nice to be here.
So like I said, this week is 1985. We've been talking about this week for a while. It's quite a good week.
Well, this week isn't literally 1985.
Well, you know, with all the 1985 talk we're going to be doing, it might as well be.
Okay, so plug in your Walkmans and put your massive headphones on as we take you back to 1985.
So yes,
that was the worst introduction to a topic I think I've ever heard. But
don't worry, we can top it. Just wait till next week. We'll top it with an even worse introduction. So, should we get on with the news?
Let's roll. TV and film, as per. A bit of Doctor Who news, of course. Reece Shearsmith is set to be joining Series 9 in an episode written by Mark Gatiss. He worked with Mark Gatiss on A League of Gentlemen and the biopic of Doctor Who's beginnings and adventures in space and time.
Oh, yes.
He played Patrick Troughton in that. And he's joining the Mark Gatiss episode of Series 9, which promises to be very scary.
Well, it'll be an alright, because Mark Gatiss is a relatively good writer when he's not writing about Doctor Who and Friends.
Yeah. Which, hang on, wait, what was that?
That was like the Scarlet one, where
Oh,
was
yeah.
that little boy who thought he was
that
a sat
him?
nav.
The one in Yorkshire?
And like, people got frozen in candle wax or something? I don't know.
That was Night Terrace, isn't it?
Did he not?
No, that was like Victorian, and it was all about trying to solve the mystery in like the factory or whatever.
Oh, the Crimson Horror.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we
Oh,
go.
and he was red for like half of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that episode.
As long as it's not that episode, it will be good.
We were talking about, he did the Robin Hood episode, didn't he?
Robot of Sherwood.
Robot of
Yeah.
Sherwood.
See, I didn't think that was too bad.
Well,
I mean,
it just didn't really do anything, did it? Think about it. Oh, that was the one where he beheaded and they got edited out, wasn't it?
Ah, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to edit out a beheading scene.
oh wow. That's rough. And isn't
Only
that the
because
one where
of
he had to
context.
fire the bow and arrow like exactly at the rocket?
That was a pretty wank ending, if I'm honest.
It was
They
still-
all because for some reason Robin Hood had like done his arm in or something. They're like, quick, if everyone teams up and pulls this bow and arrow together, then we'll save the day. That was
It
pretty.
still wasn't the worst episode of that season though.
No, that's bad, isn't it? Forest of the Night, or whatever it's called. Oh,
Forest of the Night was the true inconsequential episode.
that was just the worst.
I mean, I think we talked about it when we did our Doctor Who week.
Yeah, let's not go on to it.
Let's not get dragged too far into Doctor Who.
More Doctor Who news.
Oh wow!
According to the Private Eye, Doctor Who won't have a full series next year because of Stephen Moffat's Sherlock commitments.
Oh. Well, you know, you can only ruin one thing at a time, can't you?
So,
I mean, I'm not sure why he just doesn't drop something. Like, I'd rather be consistently good at one thing
yeah, exactly.
than mediocre at two things.
Mm,
It's a bit like A-levels. You have to drop your subjects to concentrate on
absolutely, yeah.
Stephen Moffat did not do his A-levels.
He passed them all right at AS, but then he probably should have dropped Doctor Who.
He's 17 at heart. But yeah, because I didn't think that the last series of Sherlock was particularly great.
It was fun. I liked it because it was quite fun.
I think it was too self-referential. I think it was too like smug.
Yeah.
And can I just briefly rant about how they didn't address how Sherlock survived at all?
No, they just had a bunch of fan theories that could have been it.
I mean, that was theft of my time.
Maybe they'll explain it next year because Moriarty's coming back, isn't there?
Oh yeah, that's
maybe
true.
they'll
Yeah.
explain next year.
Well, again, I reckon that's going to be a cop-out as well. I reckon he'll come back and they'll be like, well, you'll never know. And just leave it at that. And then say, like, yeah, we're really intelligent because we self-referenced ourselves.
Yeah, the only thing about Series 3, that's the kind of series you usually save if you know you're about to get cancelled. Not like a middle of your series meant to be like the peak of your show.
But I'm looking forward to the Victorian special because that's quite standalone by the sounds of it. So that might be quite a good piece of.
It's going to be all fan service though, isn't it?
Oh well, yeah, that's the point. I hope.
It's a Christmas present, isn't it? Really, to the fans.
Yeah, but I sort of hate it when they do
Which
fans.
fans?
Yeah, it'll be
fans.
It'll be for the Sherlock fans that sort of spend most of the time on
Tumblr
Tumblr posting pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch
So will there be Doctor Who and Sherlock at Christmas?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
And the new Star Wars.
Luckily, Stephen Moffat is not
Doing
writing the new Star Wars.
He did Tintin, didn't he?
He did Tintin. That's the closest he's come to nearly being.
Yeah, Tintin wasn't bad. Like they were like, oh, we need to do a sequel. And then
But
Stephen Moffat.
he was one of 3, wasn't he? The writers for that one.
3 writers.
I think so.
It did have a slightly confusing plot. Like, not confusing, but it was a bit all over the place, sort of.
That was probably Stephen's.
Yeah. Timey-wimey. Yeah. Just keep using the word timey-wimey to get yourself out of any shit situation.
Have the character flail about a bit, then maybe the audience will forget that what he said didn't make sense.
Or just do more self-referencing. I'm just gonna rename it self-fingering because that's what it ought to be called because that's what Stephen Moffat just constantly does. It's just like, oh look, I'm mentioning that thing that happened. I'm so clever.
He says it in that voice as well.
Yeah, in a slightly more Scottish.
There's always someone Scottish as well in all of his everything he does.
Yeah,
which is annoying.
Some unknown prejudices coming out here today.
Interesting. Racism was a topic we were discussing last week. Fuck the Scottish. No, I can say that because I'm half Scottish, so it's fine.
Quarter Scottish.
Okay, it's fine then.
I'm an 8th.
It's fine. We're not racist.
Alright.
Nice.
Amazing.
Marvel news. Although, again, as we've discussed, it's not really Marvel news because Fox own X-Men et al. They're thinking of doing a live-action X-Men series because they
don't want to give up the rights.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Plus, of course, Marvel's had a lot of success recently with their TV/Netflix stuff.
Yeah. I mean, would they travel around in a van solving mysteries? I'd watch that.
Yeah. I can't really get much more out of that than that, but yeah, there will be a live X-Men series. But plus the fact that they're soon to lose Wolverine, aren't they? So they need to keep stuff going.
Well, they need to have someone to take his place as like the typical.
Because it's
who you think of when you think
it's
of
sort of the
X-Men.
same with where Marvel's going because they're starting to not lose their main characters, but they're starting to bring in new characters to just help the universes carry on. If you know what I mean.
If he's not going to be in it, where's he going?
What?
Why wouldn't he be in it?
Who, Iron Man?
Oh,
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Oh no,
he said Hugh Jackman's going to stop.
He just doesn't want to do it anymore.
As most,
Which is weird because I swear it was only last year in an interview he said he was going to never stop. I swear that's really recently changed from being I'm always going to be Wolverine.
But he's the longest standing actor as a superhero in the current wave of superhero films. He's been in it for over 15 years.
I think he's going to do just enough films so that Tony Stark doesn't take his place as the longest running. As Robert Downey Jr. Well, Robert Downey Jr. being the longest running actor for a superhero.
Oh, but yeah, he's 10 years before Iron Man. I'm pretty
sure.
But
Iron Man's had a lot more appearances.
That's true.
They've been a lot more condensed, especially with Captain America.
But it's the fact that it's because X-Men's going a bit more prequely now, isn't it? So and Hugh Jackman is getting older.
Yeah.
Fairly. He can get older, that's fine. That happens. But, if they're going a bit more prequely as well, I guess its time is starting to...
Yeah.
I'd like to see an Old Man Logan film. That was a popular string of X-Men comics, and it was rumoured to be one of his last films was Old Man Logan. And I think that would be perfect for his role as well.
What, in a care home?
Not quite that old. Old Man Logan has pissed himself again.
Old Man Logan's stabbed himself in the face because of his Alzheimer's. What are these things in my hand?
That's the Scottish and old people. Right, we're on a roll. We're obviously familiar with Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May's Amazon series.
Yes, Amazon have quite a big ad on their browser if you go onto Amazon Prime Video.
I'm pretty sure you'll know by now.
Here.
Yeah. They've been confirmed for 36 episodes at least. 3 series worth, that is.
So 3 lots of 12.
Yeah.
Well, 12 episodes is a good length for a series.
Yeah. See what we did there.
Cynical
Optimists. If we make it to 12, of course. The budget they've sort of announced as well. It will get £4.5 million per episode.
Wow.
Which makes it one of the most expensive UK shows ever.
So they could literally blow up a Bugatti Veyron on every episode, couldn't they?
A couple of them, yeah.
They could have one episode which is just them out with a catapult, just throwing two of them into each other in midair.
And then still have enough to do...
like a huge amount of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
how much does Doctor Who get an episode?
I reckon that's probably the downfall of Doctor Who, because they had to cut the budget, didn't they, because BBC.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But I think the main thing that cut is just some of the visuals just ended up looking a bit like the TARDIS like the CGI TARDIS going through the vortex looks a lot better in the 2005 series.
Yeah, I know.
Than it did in the most recent one where it just looked fake.
Some guy from YouTube did that one, didn't they?
Well, some guy from YouTube...
That's right.
They're like, oh, we did this for the fans. We want to know the fans are appreciated. What it really was like, we can't actually afford a new intro, so we're going to go and find one on YouTube and pay the guy like £10 for it.
No, I think they just literally gave them credit, didn't they?
Oh god, like that's just like the worst thing. Like,
I know. They didn't hire him. They
can't afford to pay you, but we'll give you credit. It's like great. That's gonna. I can go down to the supermarket and say I haven't got any money for these.
Have you seen the YouTuber
food,
John Smith? The YouTuber John Smith who does like those animated Doctor Who videos. He did the Wholock crossover thing.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, he's incredibly talented, and like they actually in one of the Doctor Who Online webisode thing they interviewed him, and it's just I was just spending that whole video just thinking, why don't they just hire him, because his effects are much better than the BBC's. There's that episode that I still can't quite get out of my head. There's the Forest of the Night with the CGI bush at the end. That's stuck in my mind. Yeah. And there was that one, The Rings of Ackerton, with her on that scooter.
That's like a Star Wars one, wasn't it? Doctor Who meets Star Wars in a way.
When all the different monsters are. But yeah, the monster effects are all practical. They look quite good. But when she was on that CGI bike thing at the end,
yeah,
I just
singing to the devil.
Oh, it's the worst.
They really relied on Murray Gold for that episode. To just write the song.
Literally. Yeah, that's a problem with a lot of modern Doctor Who episodes. They just rely on a good soundtrack.
Yeah. I mean, a good soundtrack's very important, but like, if they cut the budget anymore, it's going to be like Murray Gold's soundtrack and then just motion tweens of stuff drawn in MS Paint. Just like cartoon stuff, just like, whoa! Oh, sorry, we had to sell all the Dalek casks, so we've got this man with a dustbin on his head.
We've briefly discussed Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Harry Potter spin-off film. Colin Farrell's just been cast in that.
Wow. As the lead or one of the beasts?
I didn't actually click on the article. I just... Because that film doesn't really interest me. So...
I mean, it's good that...
If you like Colin Farrell and you like Eddie Redmayne...
Eddie Redmayne's the main in that, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
J.K. Rowling's doing the screenplay, so... if anything, at least it'll fit the continuity for all those people who log on to Pottermore daily or whatever.
And in other originality news, Sony is planning 2 new Bad Boys films.
Oh, I saw that, yeah. They've just released a bunch of release dates, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've released the release.
Oh, yeah, they've released release dates for everything, including a new Edgar Wright film.
And there's the Uncharted film they're making as well, based off the PS4 game.
And a Barbie film.
Is it to be the part of the new Mattel cinematic universe?
Yeah. Barbie meets Ken in the sequel. Barbie versus Ken, Dawn of
Beauty.
And then you've got the Beauty League that come along. I'm running out of ideas. I'm sure they'll come up with something. But
one big bitch fight.
They're just throwing handbags and stuff at each other. Cinematic Universe's news. Well, actually, this is more Marvel news-ish. Have you seen the trailer for Deadpool?
I haven't. I keep on seeing it pop up everywhere. I'm like, I'll watch it later.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's a Red Band trailer as well as the more family-friendly trailer, but both just look awesome. Can't wait for that film. It's the first sort of modern, in this sort of age of comic book films, it's the first R-rated one.
Okay.
So, it's just going to be fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to that. And even more Marvel news. Channing Tatum was briefly sort of purported to be away from the Gambit role, but he's officially signed up to Gambit. So that could link into like how they need a leading man to replace Hugh Jackman as well, sort of, don't they?
Yeah, because he's going to be a relatively big name, especially.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not saying there's a lack of big names in the films already, but the X-Men are kind of a collective, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're starting to drift away from the Patrick Stewart and
Ian
McKellen sort of character. Yeah, I'm sure they'll still come in cameos and stuff, but they're getting a whole new range. So it's sort of they're actually ahead of Marvel in some ways, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they started the thing is that they started off with just making sequels to a popular film.
Yeah.
And then decided later that they wanted to try and make it this big storyline, which is the right way to do it.
They haven't actually got really in with the cinematic universe just yet because
it all follows one series.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's not bringing lots of people together.
There's Fantastic Four, which has just come out. Phil, to not great ratings.
Oh, so does it look like Phil's going to be right? Fancy that!
But, I'll still have to watch them both at some point.
That's an opinion, really, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, have that, Phil. Phil's wrong.
It's the ultimate get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's wrong. Popular opinion, everything is wrong.
But no,
I'm right.
Fantastic Four will surely tie in somehow to the X-Men universe. And of course in the Deadpool trailer as well, we get a brief appearance from Colossus.
Okay.
So they're starting to tie in a bit of a universe together.
Yeah, but very
vague. But I mean, but they are age-wise ahead of Marvel in the fact that they're already starting to do that transition into their next phase, if you like.
And also the X-Men and Fantastic Four brands, because they weren't originally made as a cinematic universe, they probably stand on their own 2 feet a lot better without the connections to one another.
Yeah, very true.
Whereas the whole sell of
Marvel.
film of the Marvel one is that they all connected to each other.
Yeah, very true.
So it doesn't really matter now if Fantastic Four connects into X-Men because people know the Fantastic Four and people know the X-Men.
And then again, the Fantastic Four movie, I was reading up a bit more about it actually, and it does seem very obligatory.
Yeah, it's so they don't lose the rights.
So they don't lose the rights, yes. I mean, it looked promising from the first couple of trailers, but I am now starting to become a little bit more cynical about it. But we'll have to see. So
you'd say you're a cynical optimist of some kind.
Exactly. Thus concluding my film TV news. Have you got any tenuous links, Phil?
Do I have any tenuous links? Well, one of my pieces of news has actors' names in it.
Hang on, didn't you just talk about a film based on a game?
Oh, yes. There will be an Uncharted 4 film in 2016.
Which leads us nicely into...
I think it's 2016.
No, which leads us nicely into...
game news. Yeah, so... My other piece of news that could have possibly done it is the fact that this is to do with casting and things like that. But you know how Peter Dinklage... You heard of a video game called Destiny, and Peter Dinklage was narrator in that. He's being replaced. In the release of the new expansion, which is the Fallen Empire or the Fallen King or something, Nolan North is replacing Peter Dinklage.
Nolan North.
Nolan North is from... I did recognise him, but I can't quote anything he's been in.
Right.
But when you install this new expansion, it will actually retroactively remove Peter Dinklage's all his old stuff as well.
No!
So all his stuff in the original base game will now be Nolan North too. So I'm not sure why they've done it.
Because he's too busy promoting that joy that is Pixels, I imagine.
Or maybe Pixels literally just destroyed his entire career.
They've recast him in Game of Thrones as well. Warwick Davies is now taking over as Tyrion Lannister.
Maybe it didn't destroy his Game of Thrones, but maybe it's like, oh, well, maybe keep this guy away from video games for a while. He thought Pixels was a good idea. Oh yeah, get rid of him. Toxic. So yeah. Also, other news. Smash Bros. Wii U recently got a new update, which brought... which brought tournament mode and...
Sorry, we're just laughing at the fact that Phil's cough caused a huge...
It's like an earthquake!
wave in the... Oh, it's still going. A wave in the sound file. So... I don't know why that's funny, but it's funny. So, sorry, Phil. Carry on.
It brings tournament mode, which was in all the old games, but the tournament mode is only online, so a lot of people are a bit disappointed. So you can't gather your 15 other Smash playing friends and do a tournament offline. It's all you have to be online to do tourneys.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
you can't do it offline.
No.
At all.
No.
Oh.
Which is a bit of a shame because it was always quite fun in the old ones. And the update also brought along new stages and things. The DLC is all quite expensive for Smash Bros. So, I mean, not saying I haven't bought it, but I did think to myself, wow, this is expensive when I bought it. Angry Birds 2 has been released.
What?
And it's already reached 10 million downloads.
I didn't know it's still popular.
Well, made a film, wasn't they?
Oh God,
they had that TV series as well.
What?
Yeah.
And they did that thing with Thorpe Park, didn't they, as well? Was it Thorpe Park? They made like a couple of rides out of it or something.
But yes, I will point out at this point that Angry Birds 2 is actually the 12th game in the Angry Birds series. But
following like Star
who needs
Wars
numbers?
And seasons and all that as well, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and apparently it's had like over 100 million hours played or something like that. Something ridiculous. But then the first game's probably where the majority of the downloads are, because that was downloaded over 1 billion times.
Bloody.
And that's the kind of number you can't say it was just the friends and family of the people actually involved in making the game, because otherwise they got a lot of friends.
I haven't even got Angry Birds on my phone anymore.
No, I had the demo, I think, on my iPod for a while.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to actually pay money for it, because
it used to be quite entertaining, actually. But yeah, like you said, I'll give it another go, as well as Fallout Shelter, which I still haven't got.
I've got it still on my iPad, I just haven't actually opened it up yet.
You're one step ahead of me then, that's something.
Yeah.
Angry Birds Star Wars, we'll try that.
Angry Birds Rio, Angry Birds...
Angry Birds. I think it's a standard of Microsoft.
Wasn't it free to start off with?
Angry Birds?
Yeah.
The demo was free. I think the app itself was like 69 pence or something.
Right. And then I suppose, can you even get add-ons and stuff for it?
I'm guessing in this new one you oh yes, you can in this new one, and it's apparently killing it, because a lot of people are like, well, this has too much shit. Funny enough, too much shit for an Angry Birds.
Yeah, I think they're milking it at the 12th. At the 12th game, they're starting to realise that they're milking it a bit.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the microtransactions are for, but I'm guessing they're probably unnecessary if they didn't have to have them in the first game. Yes, Super Mario Maker is coming next month.
Cool.
It's part of the whole 30 years of Mario, which is one of the things that it's 30 years of this year. Should
have saved that for the tenuous link.
Oh well, too late now. I've got a different tenuous link now in my head. But there'll be moderators at Nintendo testing all the user-created levels. If you want to post them online, they'll be testing them for difficulty.
Yeah.
So surely they must have a lot of people sat there ready to play all
That's
these
a
levels.
great job. That is a great job.
Maybe a great job, but you still have to go through all the ones which are just like shaped like a dick.
I didn't think about that. Because if you're letting loads of people just get access to create their own shapes and things, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's the prerequisite for putting anyone on any level online anyway is you have to complete it yourself. So you can't make one too difficult that you yourself can't beat it. And then the moderators have to test it for difficulty. I'm
now just wondering if they'll do like one of the little green tubes with just like two little things next to it, and you have to go down the little green tube, and then you pop out.
Just all the symbolism.
Yeah.
Halo Wars 2 was announced for Xbox One and PC. It is the real-time strategy spin-off of Halo. So if Halo's like the football-playing cool kid, Halo Wars is like the one that plays chess in the library.
Is it like Football Manager sort of thing?
Yeah. It's real-time, like Football Manager's strategy, but you do all your changes and then you play the game. Like I know you can do interactions in the game to try and alter it a bit, but that's mostly...
So is it like one of those castle defence games, basically?
In a way,
Risk.
yeah. Or like Risk. Well, Risk is turn-based, but it's like if you're...
We're wrong. Any more suggestions?
It's like...
Is it like Countdown?
That's not even a strategy game. It's not like...
It's like Hungry Hippos.
Is that hitting your phone or your console?
Just imagining Hungry Hippos as like a strategy game, like, no, I won't eat yet. I will starve myself.
We need to buy more hippos in. Come on.
It's like Pikmin, or it's like Age of Empires, or it's like things that people listening might recognise, but you two don't.
Okay. We're clearly not the demographic, are we, Patrick?
No.
Talking about Xbox, Rare Replay has launched on Xbox. This is the collection of the 30 Rare games, like Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and things.
Yeah, I think you did, yeah.
Which has been getting quite good reviews, but then it's a collection of 30 quite good games, so... And it's only £20 if you're in England. So, I mean, that's...
Can't go wrong.
That's half the price of most games new, and you get 30, so... It's not bad at all. is probably trying to remind people that once upon a time Rare made good games before they released their new game, but that's more of a comment for the people at home by the look you're giving me. More Xbox news. There seems to be quite a lot of Xbox news in these things. Maybe it's because it's the news that I see, or maybe it's because the PlayStation 4 news is alright, but, it's longer headlines, so I don't write it down.
Xbox is only 4 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah. If you abbreviate it to PS4, then you're fine, but...
I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes, have you ever heard of early access for Steam?
Yes.
Xbox are doing their own early access on console, and they're going to be putting their own games on it. So it won't just be for like indie developers or whatever. There will be, it's like early access is in releasing the game before it's finished, so you can try it and supposedly help in development. Although most people just use an excuse to release something crap and go, don't worry, future patches will make it not crap. So it'll be interesting to see Xbox taking part in their own scheme, although I'd much rather have maybe a demo and then a released game than a game that's not finished.
Yeah.
It's like showing off a film before you put the CGI in, so you still have the man there in the green costume with the balls
tennis
on it.
ball and whatever,
yeah. You wouldn't watch a film like that.
No. Man of Steel.
No, so what if they didn't have the CGI Man of Steel? It would just been
they did have the CGI. It was just very bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they took it out, it'd just be all those. It'd just literally be green blocks that look like dicks instead of the spacecrafts. And there's a game recently released on Steam, so that was slightly linked. That claims it is so difficult you won't get past the first level.
How many levels are there?
1.
Right. That was the first question I was going to ask.
So the thing is, they were like, this game is the hardest game ever. You'll never get past the first level. Someone went straight into the game files, and it has things left, level 1, level 2, level 3, all the way down to 12. But he managed to open them up, and it's the same level 12 times. And the guy's like, oh no, I didn't do that. It must have been that recent patch I released. Must have deleted all the levels that were on there. And everyone's like, really?
That's a great excuse. I want to avoid doing my homework, and I'm sorry if you're listening, Mrs. Whatever your name was. I did a PowerPoint presentation, and then you can confuse old people with technology. I just made 6 or 7 slides all blank, and then when she plugged it into the computer, it turned up with the 6 or 7 slides, but they're all blank. And she thought, "Oh right, there was something gone wrong with the software or something." I was like, "Yes."
I thought you were thinking I'm nowhere near ready for this, and just went over the projector going rah rah. It's crocodile, and ran out of the room.
But no, yeah, that's a great one. If you're listening and you need homework excuses, just confuse them with technology.
Well, if your teacher's old as well, that pretty helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try.
I'm sure. Yeah, some teachers wouldn't fall for that.
Don't try and fool your IT teacher with that. They might surprise you.
Yeah.
They might surprise you. Some of them probably believe you.
So that's basically what they've done.
Yeah, they've been oh. Shit, that last game update must have removed the level.
Really, haven't they?
That's another good one. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the game itself doesn't seem to have any kind of end to the level. It's just kind of a patch of ground, and you get given one clue, which is watch the lights. So apparently he's it's some very intricate thing. You have to see it, where you turn off all the lights, and then they flash in a certain order, and you have to do it in that order and stuff like that. And people are like, no. And the thing is, because it's Steam, you can go on and see what achievements people have. There's only one person that has got an achievement for completing the first level, which is the developer himself. And we got to think, there's quite a lot of people now trying to, beat this level. You think one of them would have managed it to prove that you're not full of shit. Just one person. But no, he
could have at least put a fake name.
Yeah, but the last piece of news is that the Mega Man Legacy Collection, which I mentioned before, which is the collection of all the old Mega Man games, is out this month. It's out on August the 25th on current gen consoles and PC for $11.99.
Another good bargain.
So yes, I'm probably going to be picking that up. And yes, my tenuous link to get us onto our conversation.
May I make an amendment? No, an amendment.
An amendment.
No, not an amendment. An
Addition.
An
appendix.
addition.
Yes!
No, a pendant.
Oh!
A pendant. No. Isn't there a new Star Wars game?
What, you mean Battlefront?
No. There's a spaceship one as well that's just come out, isn't there?
I haven't seen much about it,
Oh.
but I'll just take your word for it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure there's a new Star Wars game out. You're not going to get much
That's
more
the
detail than
news.
that.
We'll try and look it up for next week.
Yeah, on the Star Wars episode.
So yes, my tenuous link is, remember how earlier in the episode I talked about Mario?
Yes, I do.
It's 30 years of Mario this year.
Is it, Phil?
So let's travel back to the year that Mario came out and see what other exciting stuff turns 30 this year. So just to list...
Was that scripted? Or did you... Oh, no, it wasn't even written down.
No,
Nice.
that was completely off the cuff.
Nice.
So yes, this year it is 30 years of Super Mario Bros. And the Nintendo Entertainment System, which was their first console.
Excellent.
Back to the Future.
Excellent.
Live Aid.
Excellent.
The Internet Domain Name System.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Meh.
WrestleMania.
Excellent.
And The Goonies.
Excellent.
Excellent.
The Goonies, I think, was 9th or 10th that year for films. Back to the Future was number 1.
9th or 10th? That's quite low down.
Yeah.
It was Spielberg as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, like, none of the other top 10 I'd say are very noteworthy films nowadays. I think it's just The Goonies has quite a nice audience that then shows it to their kids and blah blah blah. It's got more of a cult, well, not
Yeah,
a cult following,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
but you know, like the smaller, more dedicated following.
Yeah. That's a great film, though.
Yes, it is.
Where do we begin?
So, shall we begin at the beginning?
Let's do that.
So, in 1985, it was when internationally the video game market had crashed. Between 1983 and 1984, I think it decreased in size, the market, by about 90%.
Whoa.
Because the thing is, the Atari systems that were out beforehand had just been allowing crap to get published. Have you ever heard of the game E.T.? Which is
The
common.
You haven't over the game. No.
The game E.T. is commonly referenced as the worst game of all time.
Oh.
It's just broken, buggy, and you're just a little thing like that, like moving left and... Well,
So
you obviously can't see it.
Come
at home,
underneath
but
Goat Simulator. So.
it's worse than Goat Simulator. It's just very minimum interactivity, things like that. It was so bad that the majority of copies got sent back to the publisher and spent the last 25 years or something in a landfill, which they recently got unburied from to get thrown away properly.
Buried at sea, just to make sure no one ever gets them again.
Each one getting shot before it gets thrown in the sea so it doesn't come back. But yes, and it was just lots of releases like this. There was very little regulation with who could publish games and things like that.
When suddenly
everyone was like, well, fuck it, we're just not going to buy any games anymore.
Well, they went to the arcades, didn't they?
Yeah, and the arcades were losing popularity as well.
Mm.
So then the Nintendo, which at this point had already seen arcade success with Donkey Kong, which is the little, where you climb up the girders,
where
he throws the barrel.
Where Mario first appeared.
Where he first appeared, but he was called Jumpman.
Jumpman.
Because he jumped. It's very simple. So yeah, this was... so Nintendo released... it was called the Famicom, as in short for Family Computer in Japan. And it was released as a Nintendo Entertainment System in America, and it essentially brought the market back to life. But as a result, they were very, very... Because of what had happened with Atari, they were very strict with who they gave licenses to develop games.
Right.
You had to get one from Nintendo themselves after showing them like some good work and things like that. Made it very difficult for third parties. It's something that ended up making them suffer when Sony came into the picture and were a lot easier on third parties.
Yeah.
Not like as easy as Atari were, but
they'd just take anyone.
But Atari would just take anyone, whereas Sony were a lot more lenient than Nintendo were.
Atari was a right slot.
Atari just let anyone up in its mainframe. Or whatever.
Oh, Atari.
Gets around, doesn't it?
So yeah, and then it was Super Mario Bros., which was released on September 11th, 1985. September 13th, sorry. Mario Maker launched on September 11th.
2 days out.
Come on, Phil. Get it together.
2 days and 16 years out. Which essentially just brought it all back to life because the NES sold very well
Mm.
and made the market what it was. And then Sega made their first console. And then it was Nintendo v Sega for a while. Then Sony joined. Then Microsoft joined. Then Sega left. And now we have today.
Mm. When Nintendo's still just about there.
Well, no, they have a ridiculous amount of money in the bank.
Oh yeah.
Bear in mind, Nintendo as a company is celebrating 100 years or something.
Wow.
Because it made
100 years.
It made playing cards in like the 1800s.
Bloody hell.
And then it went through a while of owning a chain of love hotels, which is where Japanese couples go to get away.
Okay.
And like love tester machines and things like that.
Right.
And then they ended up in regular toys in like the 60s, 70s.
Regular toys.
As compared to video games, you sick people. And then they moved on to digital games in like the late 70s, 80s.
Huh?
Probably because the technology was more advanced in that time.
Yeah, and that's where the market was going as well. The popularity of arcades at the time,
Yeah.
especially in Japan.
Yeah.
So yes, now they've been around for 30 years, and they're celebrating by releasing a make your own Mario level game.
To be joined by some of the regular toys that you'd see in Nintendo shops.
I wonder if they got a warehouse somewhere of everything they've ever made, and just like a black section, like sorry kid, over 18's like not in there.
If it's regular, what would be the irregular?
Also came out that year was the Back to the Future films, which I know are Patrick's favourite films.
Patrick.
Yeah, the first one came out in 1985 in the summer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the biggest film of that year.
Yeah.
And then they went on. Apparently, they only planned to make the one sequel. When they weren't planning to make a sequel, but when they did, they wrote up the plan for both Part 2 and Part 3, and they had it planned as like one film.
Mm.
And then when they were like into production, they're like, "Wait, we've got enough here for 2 whole films." So that's why at the end of
Take note, Peter Jackson.
So that's why at the end of Part 2 there is actually
Listening along.
He's like, oh bloody hell.
crikey. That's why at the end of Part 2 there's that trailer for Part 3.
Oh yeah,
Because they were all like it was all filmed at the same time.
I remember watching those for the first time and seeing a trailer for the next film at the end of the previous film was just the best thing.
Was it you, Patrick, that told me that Michael J. Fox almost died like when he was doing Part 3?
Yeah, that's how, because he had an accident. One of the stunt scenes where he gets lassoed by the cowboys and dragged away. He actually blacked out one of them because it got turned around his neck and he was.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that sort of a stress fracture might have led to his Parkinson's.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah.
Alright. Part 3 is sometimes viewed as not one of the best.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it as well.
It's fun. It's a bit stupid as well.
Yeah.
So just a bit.
It was. I think it was the right way to take it. To like they've done the future. Like
Yeah, they've done 30 years back and 30 years forward.
Yeah. I mean, I think it did pretty well in the film, but a lot of people don't really consider it as one of the greats.
Yeah,
I'm glad that
I've only seen it once.
What, Part 3?
Yeah.
What's
What
your
do you
favourite of the 3?
Probably the first one, to be honest. It's pretty good.
But I mean, the second one did promise us all these things that should be around this year. I mean,
actually, you say that. This wasn't. Yeah,
released
Lexus.
their video of the hoverboard, didn't
Lexus have created a real working hoverboard. So,
So I mean, the future is almost here.
and we haven't got trainers that lace themselves up yet, though.
No,
They're coming out this year.
Are they?
From Nike, yeah.
But are they doing it just because they know shit? We've got to do that this year.
Well, I think like, the
I think shit.
Back to the
It's
Future, how
that
they
year,
did it.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, how they did it was they did it on purpose, so everything was like unrealistically futuristic.
yeah,
Just for a good film. Otherwise, if it was realistic, it'd be a crap film.
Yeah.
yeah. Because they need to make just a bunch of Jaws films, don't they? Because in the Back to the Future 2, isn't it like Jaws 15 that comes out and tries to like eat them on the screen?
Oh god, yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
we haven't got that yet. Or flying
although
cars.
the visual quality's gotten a lot better than they predicted in Back to the Future 2.
It
Because
was
that
like
Jaws was like
8-bit or what?
it kind of looked like one of those like windsocks, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but no, I thought Part 2 was probably my favourite of the 3.
I like how it all ties together with them going back to the first film,
Yeah.
and very cleverly using all the old footage and things like that.
Yeah.
I wonder how much.
And that was, in fact, it was due to back to the Future Part 2, where actors started getting copyright agreements on their faces.
Yeah.
Because it was George
Crispin Glover, wasn't
yeah, playing
George
McFly. Because he didn't want to appear in the second one, they literally used... How did they do it? Like bit clips?
Yeah, they used a bit... They got an actor to dress up as him, but they actually used him, a bit of him, like a clip of him from the first film.
Yeah.
Which he thought, well, they didn't ask me to do that.
Yeah.
Show me in a film. But anyway, he thought he was going to get a bigger role in the second film, that's why he turned it down.
But
because he played quite a big role in the first one.
Yeah.
He plays quite a big role in the first one, but then in the... I'm not sure what plan they had from originally in the second one.
But they only show him sort of like...
Briefly,
really, they show him upside down as a sort of trick to sort of like to confuse you as to like, because it looks like him upside down, but it's not actually him, is it? But they use very
because I was going to say
smart
he's definitely
techniques.
like his character's definitely in the film in the future bits, just very briefly.
Yeah, and of course he's got old age makeup as well in some of it, hasn't he?
Yeah, but then when they go back to like the Broken 1985, he might have had a role in that before they killed him off. Because in the Broken 1985, they're just like, oh yeah, he's dead.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. See what I mean.
So you don't like.
But no, he whinged about it, and now you have to get full copyrights and pay them lots of money just to get them to appear, even if they don't actually have to do any work.
Yeah. Then that might be covered in contracts nowadays. That might be like
possibly
brushed over. Like if there is a sequel.
I wonder if they paid Arnold Schwarzenegger for his CGI cameo in Terminator Salvation. Have you seen Terminator Salvation?
No, I've heard it's not very good.
It's not great, but it's not bad. Sort of just in the middle there. But no, he appears as a CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really, I think it depends on the circumstance, doesn't it?
They quite easily got rid of like the use of CGI there because they just shot his face off like within like 10 seconds.
Yeah, they must
fix.
There must be a point where it stops being a cameo and starts being like, and how much you pay someone for a cameo must be different to how much you pay them for actually appearing.
You'd hope so, otherwise Samuel Jackson would be the richest person in the world.
Or
Stan Lee.
Oh, Stan Lee probably does it for fun.
Yeah.
They probably don't even know he's in the film.
He's probably got something in a contract or something where he gets to be in the film.
Like the first few, I reckon.
He's probably like, because he created a lot of those characters, but not all of them. He created a lot of them. Probably just said, if I'm not in this film, you're not doing it.
Or he just snuck onto the set.
Yeah.
Like one of those things, where it's like a heist movie and they're breaking into a base, so they knock out the guy, pull him back, and put on their clothes, like pass off as some like Fantastic Four, like the doorman is like, can you come over here a second? And then Stanley beats him up and is like, I'm the doorman.
It's usually like a janitor or a security guard or something.
And then after they realise what Stanley was doing, they're like, actually, let's just put him in the films. Save him beating up people and taking their roles.
Man.
You'd be surprised.
Moving back on to, should we carry on Back to the Future? Any more to be said on that?
I can't believe how they did the first one, because they filmed half of it, and then obviously they recast the role of Marty McFly to Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
And they actually used some of the bits which they filmed before in the films.
Go on.
Yeah, because I remember everyone was quite his co-stars were quite skeptical when he came on board.
Yeah.
Because Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, sitcom actor, because obviously Michael J. Fox before it, I think it was like
Family Ties.
Yeah, it's Family Ties he did before.
He's a good actor though, really good.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, they're like, wow, and then they had their mind changed, and they're like, well, thinking about it, like a sitcom actor has to turn up every single day to shoot for several months a year.
Because he did. His day was doing Family Ties, and the night he was doing Back to the Future, and he was sort of sleeping in the back of a van, driving back to the studios to film his sitcom. He'd have like 4 hours sleep in a van.
Oh wow!
And he'd like get confused about what character he was in his studios. He'd like be rushing around the studio saying, "Where's my camcorder for Back to the Future?" But
I mean, if you were offered if you were like in a sitcom, I was like, you can do this great film, and so I was like, yeah, I'd do that. I'd hit the lack of sleep.
It lived his career. I mean, that's where he went on.
He was in a couple of serious ones as well. He did actually.
Stuart Little.
Yeah, not so much. He did a Vietnam War film, which was actually really good, and he was a proper good actor in that. It wasn't just funny. He was. Yeah. So yeah, I like Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
And he went back into sitcoms as well, didn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, he did guess. He did. Well, he's had one recently. It was like the Michael J. Fox Show or something, isn't it? Well, I'm not sure how that's doing.
That got cancelled.
Oh, that's a shame.
For the bad years, yeah.
Because I know he's done quite a few cameos and things or like guest spots. Like he was in 3 episodes of Scrubs as like a visiting doctor with, funny enough, with not what he actually has, which is like Parkinson's.
I mean, he's limited in what he can do.
Yeah, but he was actually playing a doctor with obsessive compulsive disorder.
Oh, okay.
So he had to have like a bit of a shake to him anyway, and like he had to have like certain tics and things like that. And he plays it very well, but yeah, I do like Michael J. Fox as an actor.
Yeah, it's a shame about his illness.
But he's not dead.
He's not dead. He's still there. Yeah. And I've forgotten the actor's name. Emmett.
Oh,
what's his name?
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name.
Christopher.
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 It's not Walken. It's not Lee. What's his name?
It's probably not even Christopher, is it? We're looking
Bear
this up.
But no, he's still going as well.
Then
he's looking well.
Comedian, I think, originally.
Bear in mind, he was quite old in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And it's 30 years on.
I think he's in his 80s now.
Yeah.
And he's still looking well.
I mean, he's done a few crap films, like Piranha's Double D or whatever it was called.
He was in there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Patrick, while Phil definitely isn't Googling that, yeah, what else?
Christopher Lloyd.
That's the one.
Yeah. And I like how Robert Zemeckis, the director. See, I knew that name.
Yeah, a lot of people actually think it's Spielberg.
Yeah, but he just produced, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he's like gone like, no, we're not remaking it or doing anything else. I quite like that.
Robert Zemeckis, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they're not doing a part 4.
No. They're doing a musical, aren't they?
Are they?
Back to the Future, yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
the West End in London.
Will it be as good as Shrek the musical though?
They're doing a School of Rock musical as well. Believe it or not.
Okay, that'd work.
Is that just like the natural fate of most movies?
It just ends up as a musical. Shrek.
You're either a one-time film that gets forgotten about, or you become a cinematic universe, or you become a musical.
Would you like to see a funny picture of Shrek from Shrek the Musical, actually? Because I just found this picture and I found it funny. You can't see this, obviously, because this is a podcast, but...
You put a shout on there.
If you haven't seen what Shrek looks like in Shrek the Musical...
It's local to us at the moment.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
It's the Mayflower.
That's it, really zoomed in. Yeah, so hopefully... Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Or just that stare. So, the other things to happen that year, like I said, Live Aid, which was the music concert. Because I know my dad recorded it on
Soon to come is Live Aid the Musical.
Well, that would really work.
Be long though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know my dad recorded that on VHS like years ago. Like from his
30
apartment.
years, blimey.
So yeah, that was... I'm not sure if they would do anything for 30 years, because they did something for 25, didn't they?
Yeah, probably.
I think they did something for 20.
Yeah. They just redo them, don't they, with the newer sort of singers and stuff. But
yeah, so maybe they'll do the Christmas
We haven't really
song,
had a new batch of singers since 5
No,
years
well,
ago.
you'd be left with like Kanye West and... Yeah.
Kanye West would just
everyone
insist
goes,
Kanye West would just do every line, or he wouldn't be in it.
Just push everyone out of the way. Just
Kanye
There's
West.
so many musicians nowadays anyway. It's just like Portugal the Man.
yeah,
Where have
nice,
they come from?
Nice. He's referring to the band that I recommended like 6 episodes ago. Probably more than that.
I like how you looked at your watch for that. Like. So I'm not sure if there's much more to say on Live Aid. I mean...
No, it's good.
Probably a bit more to say than there is on the fact that it's 30 years of the internet domain name system.
What's your favourite internet domain name?
Well, ours is www.youtube.com.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure why I did that.
Is it just an address? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the whole idea of typing in the www. Then the address, and then that rerouting you to a place, like the whole organisation of websites.
I think it costs a bit too much.
What, to host a domain?
Yeah.
It really depends. If you're making money from doing it.
Yeah.
And you had enough traffic coming to your website that even you could pay it with ad revenue.
Was it Taylor Swift who bought the domain names to like TaylorSwiftPorn.com and stuff so that no one could use it?
There was somebody who had bought the domain name for Xbox1.com before Xbox One was announced, like quite a few years before, and they just wouldn't give it to
How the
them.
hell did they know it was going to be the one? Xbox
Well, the
One?
thing is, they probably didn't. They probably just were like Xbox One, just as a thing.
Yeah.
Just like I'm sure now, if you check, you can probably find.
I'm gonna get PS6.com and just hope that's not taken.
And I think like he was just asking like for like he was holding it to ransom from Microsoft. I think it was definitely Xbox One where the problem was, because everyone was like, why would you announce this console without at least getting the domain name?
Or just change the name.
Or just do xbox.com/1.
Xbox-1.
I've only got 8 days remaining.
Oh, antivirus. And WrestleMania. I'm not one of those people who's ever watched much wrestling. I know who Hulk Hogan is, but that's
Because he's been in the news recently for being racist. Yeah.
I mean, I knew about him before that because he was just like the crazy old man with the bandana on his head saying brother a lot.
WrestleMania. Yeah, I haven't got a clue really. I used to play SmackDown vs Raw on PlayStation.
Yeah, I've seen a satire show that kind of recaps the events of WrestleMania, but I watch it because the guy who does it is very funny. Not really because I understand much about WrestleMania. And the other day I had the joy of kind of being half asleep, half drunk, and watching WrestleMania meet Scooby-Doo, which is just weird. It's quite funny, but at the same time, it's just like it's double the length of a regular Scooby-Doo episode, and it's not more interesting. It's just not. It's just Scooby and Shaggy as wrestling fanatics, and a bunch of wrestling stars are contractually obliged to appear. But it is quite funny, like the whole idea of wrestling being completely fake and everything like that.
It's sort of an American thing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's more in America, but then again, it's popular amongst like 8-year-olds here. It's just like, oh, cool, they're hitting each other with chairs. And then...
I think it's like when you're out like watching it, I don't know, in an arena or something, you probably do sort of get into it, kind of. But
not
on
literally.
a TV.
Yeah. You don't join in. You want some?
Yeah, I think it's just a sort of atmosphere
I've never really
sort of
seen
thing,
that.
I guess.
It does seem very just staged and.
Yeah,
I mean,
and even if it's not, I'm
sumo
not
wrestling. No, that's wrestling.
No, this is pod racing.
I know when my roommate got he got like I think it was his PS2 he had down. He got one of the old WWE games for it. It might have been PS3. He just sat there for ages because he didn't realise the mode he was playing was the one where you have to like get the step ladder and reach for the belt.
Yeah.
So he was just like him and like this other guy he'd invited around were just hitting each other with the ladders for ages.
It was really violent actually, especially as you had like it's popular amongst kids mainly the wrestling. Like I remember just like you had to get it was like first to blood and stuff.
Yeah.
Like how that doesn't sort of make an impression or anything on kids like trying to hit their digital
it's like you're having a falling out with someone, punch them.
Yeah, until they bleed. First
knock them out cold.
Yeah. And then they're hitting each other with sledgehammers and like barbed wire sticks and stuff.
Itchy and scratchy sort of Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, but the thing is, with Itchy and Scratchy, The Simpsons satirises that sort of the
over the top
violence and stuff. Whereas wrestling was like, yeah, join in. And you could create your own characters on SmackDown vs Raw as well, so you could like make yourself like punching someone to blood, basically.
Well, it's PS2, so it probably vaguely looked like
okay,
it.
yeah. So you had like
you
splots.
squint.
Yeah. But yeah, well done, WrestleMania. 30 years of encouraging violence amongst small children.
And belts. Really large belts. Yeah.
I remember, okay, I'm going off track again, but I remember I went to a Bewley Auto Jumble with George. Well, my friend George, he's a massive idiot, he's hilarious. And I bought a Jaguar belt, and it was quite cool. And he bought one with like the old Mini logo with a sort of like upside down sort of triangle saying Mini pointing down below his belt area. He actually tried to go and take it back as well after I pointed that out. I don't think he's worn it since.
He's quite a big guy as well.
When he said big there, he meant tall.
Yeah. We're not commenting on the belt itself.
Anyway,
the Goonies.
The Goonies. Speaking of George, cracking film.
Cracking film.
Yeah.
The truffle shuffle, and all those other memorable moments.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's hilarious. Great film.
Wasn't there talk recently that there might be a sequel to the Goonies?
I hope not.
Like it's like 30 years ago. It's like, what are you gonna do? A bunch of grown adults like, let's go on an adventure, guys. No, I got work in the morning. Sorry, I can't. That was a Spielberg film. That was the only film he directed in 1985, I think. I think so. I know he produced.
Yeah, he produced loads, but yeah, that's the only film he made, and it was great. It's not the most well-known Spielberg film, but it's definitely worth watching if you want to get.
Has anyone gone on to do? Any of the little kids gone on to have big?
I know. Corey, what's his face, went on to do Strictly Come Dancing.
What's his face?
Where careers go to
the fat kid, I'm not sure what his name was.
Was Josh Brolin in it? Because he was in the Men in Black 3 film.
Oh. I don't know.
But the thing is, like with child actors, they either fade into obscurity, Anakin Skywalker, or they just.
He got arrested for.
Yeah, he got arrested recently, didn't he?
Yeah, because he was like driving fast and drunk it up or whatever, and I just remember one of the news articles I saw was just the headline was just, "Now this is pod racing."
He gave in to the dark side of the Force.
Him and his Sebulba going down New York or whatever in fast cars.
He might have been high enough. He might have seen just look into the next car and see Sebulba.
I was racing Sebulba with like the feet on the wheel and everything.
And then Sebulba in a massive pod as well.
He gets pulled over by like Jabba the Hutt, just like, "What are you doing?" "What? Jabba, shut up."
No, the little flying guy, like imagines the police officer.
"Yeah, officer, this is Andy Skywalker." Phantom Menace banter there.
That's just a little preview of next week.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the full Star Wars talk. I mean, it's just, I can't believe we haven't touched much upon Star Wars after, however, 9 episodes?
This is 9.
9 episodes and we've barely scraped.
Was there a Star Wars in 1985?
No, it's 70...
It was done by then, wasn't it?
Oh, I think of Indiana Jones, don't I?
Yeah, was there any... yeah, it was around...
Indiana Jones was around that year, but it wasn't.
But Spielberg didn't make any films in 85. The Goonies might have been between Indiana Jones
was that
films.
the little kid, wasn't he? The Asian looking.
Yeah, he was in the Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Goonies. That's. I don't know if he's done anything since Indiana Jones or the Goonies, but.
Yeah, because Indiana Jones films, as everyone knows, were totally released in the film. Released in the year of 1984.
Oh.
Was the last one, was it?
No, that was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no, it was 1981 was the first, 1984 was the second, and 1989. So that's quite a good space then.
5 years between Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, wow.
Well, they're thinking of doing another one, aren't they?
Oh, God, no.
Bringing it back.
Oh, yeah, they want to recast him, don't they?
Yeah, it could be Chris Pratt.
See, Chris Pratt might make a good Han Solo.
I don't know, I think I don't think it's quite... He's a little bit... I liked him in Guardians and Jurassic World, but I find him a little bit flat, if you know what I mean.
I find it amazing that he started off as like essentially a fat, just quite a chubby man that was just like a side character in Parks and Recreation.
He's hilarious, isn't that?
I've never seen it.
I've been looking into seeing it, but I haven't actually sat down.
Is it on? Plays an idiot like a goof. I think it's on Dave.
Right. Is it on Netflix or?
It's on Amazon.
Yeah,
is it on Amazon?
Maybe on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
I hope there's not a fifth Indiana Jones. Just as a side note.
Because he wasn't even meant to be in that. He only played a little role in season 1. And then, because they just liked him so much, they just let him. His roles got bigger and bigger.
Oh.
So it sort of made his career out of nothing, really. Because he used to be like a strip dancer, didn't he?
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a movie.
So did Channing Tatum, interestingly.
Yeah, that's what Magic Mike's based off, isn't it?
I don't know, Phil, is it?
Well, isn't that I learned that from watching the Honest trailer. Thank you very much.
Is it, Phil? Do you know Channing Tatum's past career? Been looking into it?
Front row seats. Oh, apparently there is plans for a 5th Indiana Jones.
Oh.
I mean, this isn't 1985, but it would have been in the public mind in 1985.
Yeah. I'd quite like to see a few more films, like just films that have just come out of nothing, non-franchise based films.
Just original films.
Yeah.
The thing is, nowadays people don't.
But there is still a market. Like
there is a market for it, but the market's more for the sequel, I think. Like
I know. Like sometimes it's like Interstellar was an original film, but I know it had the drive of Matthew McConaughey and Chris Nolan, etc. But I mean, it still proved that you can have original films that do well.
I mean, there's so many films now. This film's been going for ages, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the ideas have sort of been taken.
As much as I hated Avatar, it still did well for an original film.
Yeah, but I believe if unless you got the budget or the director, then your film is more likely going to get its following from being available on a streaming service.
Yeah.
And then capitalising on that will get you a good return on your sequel. That'll be for the smaller budget pictures. It will just be getting as many people to see the original as possible. Like when people go to, because the cinema's too expensive. I think we discussed this before.
Yeah. I think we mentioned that in one of them. However many episodes back.
Me and you went on a Saturday, didn't we, Patrick? And it was like £10 each almost, or something like that.
I think you paid for it, didn't you? You paid for the cinema.
Oh yeah.
I remember
you paid for lunch.
The most expensive film. The most expensive film I've seen. This is really embarrassing. Resident Evil 4 or 5 or whatever it was.
Oh, there's a 6th one of those coming out.
Oh yay! But no, I remember because I went with a couple of friends and sort of, I didn't want to pay the money, but they wanted to see it, and I was like, yeah, go on then. I don't think I'd seen any of the rest prior to that, but 3D IMAX Resident Evil was like £15.
Oh wow!
I was like, oh, I don't even want to see this film.
Did you feel lost on the plot because you hadn't seen the first one?
Well, it was sort of quite simple. It's just sort of like, oh, there's some zombies and viruses and this, that and the other, but £15 film on freaking Resident Evil 5.
You could have spent that on Cheerios.
Yeah.
Or something else.
I could have bought like 15 £1 bags of 15 £1 bags of chocolate buttons. I don't know, that's the first thing that came into my head. Yeah, or some other things, I'm sure. But
you'd be sat outside the cinema with just a bunch of bags of chocolate buttons. Did
you enjoy your film?
Did you enjoy your film? Because I had a great time.
Stop staring at me, just mouth covered in chocolate. Just it makes me happy. So yeah, The Goonies, great film.
Treasure, pirates.
Yeah,
I know. I think films like The Goonies are best left. There are some films that are just great standalone films, which I think is the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Interstellar and things like that. I still need to see it, but
you still haven't seen Interstellar?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, that'd be your sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just haven't got around to it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I got the mega book edition on Blu-ray HD.
The mega book.
Mega. Yeah, it comes with a little book of the making of.
And
a disc at the end. It's great. I got the special edition. I don't even care.
It's similar to another film called Contact.
I haven't seen that.
You know, that's Jodie Foster. It's quite an old film.
It's sort of. It's got echoes of.
Matthew McConaughey was in that as well.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got echoes of 2001 in it, like in terms of.
That wasn't.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, there's so many films these days, sort of comparing them to other films.
Yeah. So
yeah.
If you want some original films to watch, viewers, listeners,
well, the thing is,
check out Nolan's films and Kubrick's and Francis Ford Coppola.
That's the difference between like books and films and games. Is like games eventually the system becomes too old, or they just kind of like they can't be run anymore unless they're constantly made to be able to run on the latest systems. So after a while, you can just make that. Release something similar to that game, whereas films, like, as long as they keep on getting released, especially with digital, you're going to keep on being able to watch them forever. And yeah.
Even with music, like so many notes and chords you can use in a song.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can go on forever with film ideas, just because everyone has different ideas, imaginations, and even like a lot of people say writing is just rewriting. It's just like you can come up with original concepts.
We should come up with an original concept now.
Actually, sorry, I was meant to plug this earlier.
Oh dear.
Check out my YouTube page, link in the description. Trailer for a film that I'm making.
And he's totally going to finish this one.
And it's an original film, but it takes inspirations from other films. Be sure to check out the trailer. That was shameless, that plug, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's talking about how there's all these original ideas for films and being like, I'm making a film. What is your film about?
It's a sci-fi. I'm not going to say much more than that because it's sort of you have to wait to the end of the film to discover why certain characters are there, this, that, and the other.
Is it Star Wars?
It's not Star Wars, no.
Is it Star Trek?
No. Takes inspiration from the first Terminator. There's a bit of Mad Max in there. There's bits of all sorts of films that I've grown up watching.
I still need to see
it's
Mad
my
Max
tribute.
as well.
It's my tribute to sci-fi. That's what I'd call it. That'd be the tagline on the DVD release. But yeah, link in the description. That's my shameless plug. Anyone else want to plug anything? Patrick, any music?
No.
Patrick does the music at the end of these podcasts.
Yeah, I'm the one to blame.
Phil, anything to plug? Banjo-Kazooie?
Nah, I did some plugging today in a different video. I'm all plugged out.
Oh, okay, all plugged out.
I plugged this series in a different video today while I started talking.
Nice.
So, if you go on the channel that this gets uploaded to, there'll be a list of other channels, and go on those 2 channels, and there's other videos that I've been involved in. They're good. Watch them. And give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr.
Share to Facebook, share to Snap,
Send it to your grandma in a letter.
Tweetbook, etc.
Hold up a cassette player to your computer and have it on cassette.
Set up a shrine to it in your bedroom. Blow the candle out before you go to bed.
Learn our places of work and call us in the middle of the day.
Find us. Not just on Facebook and Twitter. Find us in real life.
Follow us in person.
Kill us.
Egg our houses. Etc. Well, that's a good point to conclude, isn't it?
Or dislike this video if you didn't like it.
No, don't do that.
We dare you.
We're going to hack it so you can't dislike it.
What do you mean, like, I think you can turn off things like comments and likes if you really want.
No, we're not going to do that because we want to show our likes.
Yeah, because it's going to be lots of likes.
Exactly.
And lots of comments saying, bring back Patrick next week. Get rid of that guy, Nick.
It'll be the optimists.
The optimistic optimist.
Get rid of Phil and Nick. Just keep Patrick. Just rename it the Optimists.
This is like the takeover.
That's about it for this week.
Yeah.
We've plugged. We've
discussed. We've been on a trip to the past.
We've given you news.
We've laughed. We've coughed.
We've cried. We've
stayed mostly
shed
in 1985.
blood, tears, sweat.
We've talked about a few films that weren't 1985 but were relevant.
Yeah.
Next week we'll talk Star Wars.
Yes.
Something really big happened in 1985. We just haven't discussed it.
Well, the storm was in 87, so
some politics stuff. I'm pretty sure that was a Thatcherite era. So
probably.
You probably hated 1985 if you were
bad
pro Labour in the 1980s.
Or a minor.
Fuck Back to the Future. I've been NGM.
I've been haddowinc.
I've just been a random guest.
You've just been Patrick.
Do
you have a YouTube page? Yeah. Okay. He's just been Patrick then.
If you want to support Patrick and his works, then there'll be eventually an MP3 of the outro theme. Download it. Find Patrick on Twitter and tell him how much you liked it. That will be showing your support, and we'll also get him to do us more music.
We'll put Patrick's Twitter in the description, shall we, Patrick, so everyone can find and
I
follow.
last thing I tweeted.
Find and follow and egg you as well.
I think they're just pictures of your dog, isn't it?
That's fine.
Pretty much.
So,
we'll see you next week for Star Wars.
thank you for listening.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Bye!